Uh, Welcome to today's lecture. Today we'll be discussing resource management. Welcome to today's lecture. Today we'll be discussing resource management, leadership and management. What is human resource? So we're going to look at what is human resource management, the recruitment, staffing, staff audit, allocation of employees, orientation, providing job description. So if you look at human resource management, you look at the whole entire process of recruitment, uh, staffing, staff audit, allocation of employees, uh, work orientation, providing job description, and also promoting staff development. So when in human resources involves the entire process of recruiting someone for a job, looking for someone who is suitable for a job. After you recruit that person, you also assign that person responsibility to do at work. Again, you orient that individual on the work, and also you provide them a job description specifically of things what they need to do. And also it also involves staff development. Staff development is where you can either do staff, you can do workshops, you orient your members on what to improve knowledge and also improve work performance, or you can send your employee to advance at school so that you can become an effective worker at your workplace. So we'll begin with uh, we'll begin with uh, we'll begin with the definition of human resource management. So human resource management, human resource management is the process of using a company resources in the most effective way as possible. So a resource, you're talking about time, money, and the like. Those are resources. So human resource management is the process of using the company resources in the most effective way as possible. Then we say human resource management, we are implying defined as the effective use of human resource in the organization through the management of people's related activities. So human resource management, it involves the use of human resource. We're talking about workers in an organization through the management of people related activities. Through the management of people related activities. So purposes of human resource management, purposes of human resource management, purposes of human resource management. What are some of the purposes of human resource management? The purpose of human resource management is to hire, train, and develop the staff where necessary to discipline or dismiss them. So in human resource, it involves to hire. If you have a job vacancy at the organization, you can hire that individual. And also it involves training an individual. When somebody, you have, for example, the facility, you have shortages of midwives, for example. You are going to send them to school so that you train them and you develop those staff so they can also uh, contribute to the quality of care you want to provide at the facility. And again, it also involves disciplining them. So if employees are not performing well, you can discipline them at the organization, also dismiss them. For example, you are the matron working at a private hospital, you have a shortage of staff, you can advertise, you can hire staff in your department, like nurses, you can hire midwives. Then if they are misbehaving, you can discipline them or dismiss them, or replace them. So that's another purpose of human resource management. The other purpose of human resource management is through effective training and development. Employees in the organization achieve promotion within the company and reach their full potential. So this reduces the need for external recruitment. For example, you have a vacancy, you want someone to take over. You there's no need of you. For example, you are a matron or you are the matron at the organization. There's no need of recruiting a midwife. You can train the ones you have so they can develop to quality services you're providing at the institution. So we're going to look at definition of human resource management. So what is recruitment? Recruitment is the process of finding and hiring the best qualified candidates. So when you're recruiting an individual, you are just finding and hiring the best qualified candidates. So for a job opening in a timely and cost-effective manner. So another way you can do recruitment to advertise. After advertise, people are going to apply. So different people are going to apply. Then you're going now to choose the best qualified candidate for that job. So that's recruitment. Recruitment process includes requirement of the job, attracting employee for the job, screening, selecting applicants, hiring, and integrating new employees in the organization. So after you advertise, people are going to apply. After they apply for a job, you're going now to screen amongst the candidates. You can have 20 candidates just for one position. Then you conduct interviews. Then you select the best qualified candidates. Then you are going to orient them in the organization, the laws that they need to do in the organization. So as we continue, we're going to look at staffing, staff audit, and orientation. So staffing is the selecting and hiring of an individual for a specific job function. Staffing is the selecting and training of the individual for a specific job function and charging them with the associated responsibility. So staffing, you need selection and you are hiring the training the individual specific for a job function and charging them for special associated responsibility. So you select the individual, you train the individual, and you give them a specific function they need to do at your workplace, so they can also uh, develop, contribute to the output of the organization. Then staff audit. Staff audit is a form of consulting services which enables the employee to obtain a comprehensive insight in the personal affairs. So it's a form of consulting service which enables the employee to obtain a comprehensive insight in the personnel affairs. Staff audit is conducted in order to facilitate one, the selection of appropriate staff members to verify the employee's skills, efficiency, and motivation. So we're going to give people to audit their staff. They'll find out the employee's skills, efficiency, and also motivation. What motivates that employee to work well at the organization? Again, they're going to ensure that the human resource policies observed in the company are consistent with the law and statutory regulations. So they need to make sure that the employee they are recruiting understand the policy and also the laws and the regulation in the institution. So an employee audit is a valuable tool in a company, the organization, and also allocation or distribution of new work duties, and also analysis of personal affairs, development of job profile, assessing the employee's competence requirements for a given position. So an employee audit is a valuable tool. Staff orientation. What is staff orientation? So after you employ an individual organization, you need to orient them. That's staff orientation. So effective orientation in the new jobs to the organization and therefore is critical in establishing success and productive work relations. So after you have recruited an individual, you need to orient them on what they're supposed to do in the organization. That will help to establish success and also bring about production in the organization, because individuals are oriented, they know what they're supposed to do and they know what they're supposed to do on a daily basis in the organization. That will help them to work properly. So staff orientation is very important. For example, you are in charge, you receive a new nurse in OPD. So you need to orient them what to do in OPD so they become acquainted with the things they're supposed to do. That will help them work effectively and deliver quality services at that facility. So we're going to look at now financial and material resource management. Financial and material resource management. Financial and material resource management is very critical. It's very important in an organization. So financial material resources is very important in organization because it helps us to understand the resources and the materials we have within the organization and how to manage them. For example, we'll start with ordering of resources. So every facility will order resources. So ordering of resources for various activities also requires that you follow procedures. These procedures are necessary to check the utilization and prevent misuse or theft in terms of cases. So when it comes to ordering drugs, for example, you follow a procedure. There's a book where you need to write the things you need to use per week. So you are going to take that book to the pharmacy. Then they're going to give you things to use uh, in your department for a week. So there's a procedure on ordering of resources. Resources are kept in stores depending on the type of materials. For example, drugs from the pharmacy, they are kept in specific places where they need to be stored to prevent damage uh, uh, so that they can be used effectively. Stuff like sugar, they're also kept properly, cooking oil, they're kept properly in the organization. We also have inventory procedures and documentation. Inventory, each department should have an inventory book, which is very critical, which is very important to that department because an inventory takes into account what you have in that department, what is damaged, what you're currently using, so that they know as a facility when to replace certain things and uh, uh, when to replace certain things or not. So inventory procedure and document require verification by the manager to confirm the hospital goods and services are checked and right total have been submitted. So each department, if you're in charge in labor, you need to take inventory of the things you have in that department, the chairs, the tables, uh, the bed, everything. You need to be accounted. They need to be accounted for. Taking inventory, detailed list of goods or furniture in organization is very important in the for the manager. It is necessary that you as a manager understand the beginning balance, which is quantified of usable stock on hand at the beginning of the given period, which should be equal to the ending of balance of previous period. The ending balance is squared at the end of the given period. So it's important. As a leader, you need also to consider the losses and also adjustments. For example, missing items or furniture, damaged furniture, safety. So you need to be checking the inventory to find out what you have and what you don't have. So by doing physical counts, it's very important to in inventory. As a leader, you should be aware of consumption, the quality of items given to the client. This can also be found at the health centers. If you're running a health center, you need to find out the details of the things you have at the facility and how much you use those items, drugs, how much, everything you need to be accounted for. You need to know how much you use. As a manager, you also need to be aware of attendance statistics. They are very important because they also help in uh, knowing how much you need at the facility. So the attendance registers are important. Like for example, each department has the attendance is like the antenatal register. It shows the number of people come for antenatal or not. Uh, the labor and delivery register, all those they are important statistics which are important in uh, in resource management. Stock card records, they're also important. These records that are list quantities of received goods, notes, dates, receipts, losses, and adjustments. So the stock card records are also important. The other record which is important is the FIFO, first expire, first out. So when you receive things or first in, first out, it's very important. You need to know what you have received first, you use them so they go fast. So they are very important to follow this people, especially when it comes to medication. So you need to use the medications to help you save space uh, so that they don't get expired. Also have quantitative using numbers as compared to qualitative using. So you need to quantify what you have at the facility. Also have stock out, having no supply of any item in stock. So you need to find out what you don't have in stock. That's stock out. We have resupply site, any person on location that receives supplies from the district. So if you need to have a book where you're recording what you have received from the district. We have also national drug use, the appropriate prescribing of drugs by medical persons and the appropriate use of the by the client. So you need to rationale the drug use. Also, we also need to take into account the average monthly consumption, the average quantity of stock consumed over a period of months. So you need also to pay attention to this when you are managing. Okay, we're going to look at now budget and costing. Budget and costing. So budgeting and costing are one of the sequence or function of management under planning. So budgeting involves the three M and T. So that includes money, manpower, material, and time. So we're going to look at all these in details in the next lecture. So money. How much money do you have at the facility? How much money have you received? It's important when it comes to planning. Manpower. How the manpower you have at the facility is very important for planning. The materials, what materials you have at the facility, they're also important for planning. The time. Time is a very essential uh, component. Budgeting requires estimating the amount of money, human resource, material, resource, and time that is required to carry out a particular task. So it's important. Today, for this lecture, we are just going to end here, then we'll continue with human resource management. We just with the company to continue with human resource management.